Here's so Mike has 100 family and friends.
There's 100 families.
Sure, Mike paid them.